Punita, there's a perception in the minds, and since I am working in the MBA space, I have also
Correct.
sort of gotten this perception from many people. IB में पैसा है, consulting में पैसा है, marketing में to some extent पैसा है, content और content marketing में पैसा नहीं है. Is that true?
I disagree with that because I feel you can be any profession on this planet, an architect, a marketer like me, any industry. You have the power of content. You have the power of being consistent with content. You have the power of collaborating with your content. You have the power of building a community with your content. That's why I totally believe the power of 4 C's, which is content, community, consistency, and collaborations. Any profession, you should just pick a platform and go out there and talk about who you are. Talking about the 4 C's, I want to just share a very simple example of failure story and how I
Sure.
succeeded in this journey. So 16 years in the corporate space, complete corporate person, high paying jobs, yes man, yes boss kind of an attitude, because that's what corporate makes you feel. And March 2020 is when I decided it's time, I have to quit corporate because I was completely burnt out. There was no more learning after so many years. You were doing the same thing. It's not just about the monies you make, it's also about the learnings. And that's when, at March 2020, I quit my corporate job and I put myself out there on LinkedIn. I put myself out there on Facebook. I put myself from there on Instagram and started focusing on 3 main areas. First, most important, optimized my profile because I wanted people to know who I am. Yes, I've had brands in the past, but people don't know who I am. People don't know what I did in CNBC. People
Right.
don't know what I did in Times Network. So I focused on optimizing my profile with high-performing keywords. Keywords like content marketing, brand building, communication. That was stage 1. Stage number 2 is I started creating content, focusing, educating, empowering my audience related to subjects that I want people to know, as. And the third is, most importantly, building a strong community. I started interacting with marketers, strategists, writers, global people in the marketing space who have done this in the past and started engaging with their content. Because I did the 3 steps, profile, content, community, I grew from 4,000 followers to 65, 70,000 followers in a span of 1.5 years.
Superb. There's always a fear, there's always something that holds you back,
Correct.
saying that you're beating your own trumpet,
Right.
And you don't want to be that person, right? So how do you make sure that you reach out to people, you tell them what you have in offer, but you make sure that you don't appear as somebody who is desperate to make a personal brand out?
Whatever content I as an individual, as a marketer put out on all these platforms is never salesy. It's never salesy. It's more focused towards educating my audience. Never in my content post or anywhere I will say please hire me or please contact me. Never. It's more about showcasing yourself as an authority. It's more about being there for the community. It's more about somebody messaging me on LinkedIn and saying, hey, listen, Punita, can I talk to you because I need help? Yes, I will be there for that individual. Because I realize that the power of being there for the community, the power of helping, the power of being nice in this world plays a huge role.
Lovely. You mentioned that you have grown tremendously in the last 1 year on
1.5 year,
LinkedIn. Yeah. People are choosing different social media platforms to, grow their presence. A lot of people are reaching the levels of influencers, mini influencers, big influencers who people are, getting a lot of information from and a lot of entertainment from as well. What should somebody keep in mind when they are starting off as somebody who is going to be that person who's building their personal brand, and going forward in the journey, what should they be keeping in mind?
Correct. So I strongly believe that even if you're a starter, you can build your brand because it's all about researching, it's all about educating your audience, and it's all about focusing on that niche. If you're a makeup artist, focus on that subject. You cannot talk about something else because people will not know you for who you are. So step number 1 is focusing on your niche. letting your audience know who you are with the power of keywords. The second, what I feel is when you're starting out, you start with smaller, shorter formats of content. Start with text content, then move on to carousels, then you move on to polls, and then you move on to video content. Being in the media space, it took me 9 months of facing my fears to go out there and be in front of the video. But today, I am fearless because it was just about taking that one simple step. There are so many times I have put out content which I put 6 months back and I'm putting it now. Nobody cares. But what people care of, you're showing up. People care about, you are educating them. People care about consistency. So I think these core things, once if somebody keeps in mind, I'm sure they can build a brand, but it doesn't happen in 6 months. It takes about 8 to 10 months to actually say your audience knows you for who you are.
Let's get back to your TV career now a little bit.
Sure.
Because I wanted to talk about that time when you were working with the TV industry. The Saas Bahu serials were topping the
Absolutely.
charts, and news was something that was still consumed
Correct.
in the TV. During that time, what sort of a content marketing was there at play, and from there, what changes have taken place now that people should keep in mind who want to make a career in this?
What I realized over the years that even as an individual, even if you're starting out, you can create a branded content show yourself because you have free platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Back then, you only had to depend on TV channels.
Right.
Today, it's all free. So many YouTubers are actually starting their own shows and making revenue. So I truly feel that this generation is extremely lucky because they've got it all. Just go out there, figure out your niche, and put yourself out there. You'll make these mistakes, but that's completely fine. You'll gradually learn over time. I realized that most importantly, if you want to start your career in a particular field, identify top people in your industry, influencers, enthusiasts. I literally cleaned up my Instagram following. I was following a lot of random people. I unfollowed them because I realized I only need to see people in my industry. The more and more people I see in my industry, the more and more I wake up, I get motivated to see and put myself out there.
Punita, we were talking about how content is something that you double down on. There are people who are here, they might say that, okay, maybe I can do a little bit of marketing, maybe I can make a brand for myself, but I don't know likhna kaise, right? How do you make sure that you strengthen yourself in that aspect also, right? What are the kind of steps that you need to take, and what skills do you think you need to acquire or work towards that will help you in making a dent?
So I strongly believe that if you're looking at getting into the content writing space, 2 aspects, research and creativity, and obviously good grammar skills, So starting with research, if you're focusing, pick up a topic every single day and start writing 200 words, conversations about a particular topic. That's when you'll realize how you're moving into the writing space. Start with a context of what you're writing, move to the problem statement, then come to the conclusion, and also focus on the solution you're providing. So I think any kind of piece of focusing on writing, it's very important to pick up one piece, master that piece, make those mistakes, and then move on. The second part is creativity. How does creativity actually come in? I feel that by observing people, by observing situations, by observing stories, by observing actual people in your industry, because you realize their journey actually inspires you. So that's point number 2. And most importantly, taking action. The more and more action you take, the more and more you will actually feel and realize that it was just about taking that one step and keep moving.